We have a pretty decent amount of our basic game here figured out. We can kill enemies, enemies can damage us, we've got a lot of stuff going, but it still feels kinda stiff. And while a part of that is just the quality of the assets that we're making here, because we're going through everything relatively quickly, there's also not a lot of juice. So in this segment of the first game creation course, we're going to focus on adding that juice. And juice is just a catch-all term for everything that makes the game feel satisfying. So that can relate to things that just make it look fancy, or things that communicate something more obviously to the player. Today, let's take a look at two different types of camera shakes that we'll introduce, one for when we kill an enemy, and one for when we get damaged. I'll go into my tutorial folder, and just make a new folder for camera shakes. We'll get back to that in a moment. For now though, if I go into the player blueprint, we'll have some stuff going on there that we can hook into. That being the on event any damage. We run this subtract HP, and that's really all that it does right now. But we're going to add a little bit to this that's going to add a camera shake whenever we get damaged. That way, it is very obvious when we do and don't get damaged, aside from having to look directly at our HP bar. There's a bunch of ways that we can handle camera shake. We're going to do it the most basic and straightforward way, and that is with getting the player controller. And we can just, pulling over that, type in camera shake, and we can start a client-side camera shake. If we hook it up, we can put in a scale, whether or not it is on local, world, or a user-defined space. We're going to stick with camera local because that is the most straightforward. And we have a user space rotation. Again, we're going to ignore that for now. This sticks in a camera shake class, and we have a handful of different ones. The legacy camera shake, the default camera shake, and the camera shake base. If we just put in the default camera shake base and we get damaged, you will see that doesn't do anything. And that is because these are only templates. We need to make our own camera shake as a child of that template. These are just like a blueprint, like we've made before. If we go into a blueprint class, we can make child classes of so many different things. One of the things in this list is camera shakes. So let's go ahead and make one. That's why I made that folder before. And here we have the camera shake base, the default camera shake base, or the legacy camera shake base. We're going to go with the default camera shake base because the legacy is, well, mostly there to support other legacy systems, code that already exists that runs off of this. Take the default camera shake base. And we'll call this something like CS for camera shake, and then base damage. And double clicking that will open it up in a new window. And it has a blueprint graph here that we're not going to do anything with because this is not relevant. We can just close that altogether. The only thing that really matters is the details panel. And in there, we can choose whether or not this is a single instance or not, which means that whether or not they can restart or that they can stack. Difference isn't that big, especially if you aren't getting a lot of camera shakes in a very short period of time. Really what matters here is the root shake pattern. We can say a couple of different ones. We can make a composite, so that's a couple of different ones added together. A purlin noise camera shake pattern, which is a random noise pattern that does smoothly interpolate between values. So you can kind of imagine that what it does is it is a +1, let's say +1 to -1 scale. And it just says, okay, we have a random value here and a random value there. But instead of jumping from this value to this value like immediately, right, having it jump like this, it always smoothly goes from one value to the next random value. There's just spacing between those random values, essentially. A sequence camera shake pattern, which lets you animate a camera in a sequence and use that as a camera shake. That is very, very nice for very precise effects that you want to have. Or a wave oscillator, and that is literally just a sine curve that just oscillates with a certain magnitude like that. 9 times out of 10, you're going to want to use just a purlin noise, and that is plenty fine. We can shake a couple different properties, that being location, where is it within the world, and individually influence the amplitude, how far does it move, and the frequency, how fast does it move of that amount. for either the location as a whole, X, Y, and Z, or individually X amplitude or frequency, Y amplitude frequency, Z amplitude frequency. These are the kind of things that you just kind of plug some numbers into, see what it feels like, and start tweaking. Maybe I wanted to move more. More doesn't look good. Maybe I wanted to move faster. That doesn't look good either. Maybe I wanted to move just a little bit, but very fast, or very slowly, but very far. And you just tweak these two numbers together until you get something that you like. And we have the same thing here for the rotation and the field of view. We're going to leave field of view alone for right now. Rotation might be kind of nice to work with. We have the pitch, the yaw, and the roll. So if you imagine this to be a head, pitch is nose up and down, roll is the head tilting side to side, and yaw is looking left and right to either side. That means that maybe we want to add a little bit of roll in here, but no yaw and no pitch. So we're going to set the amplitude for yaw and pitch to 0. And I'm just going to add a little bit of roll at a amplitude of, let's say, 15. Again, this might be a thing that's just going to look really bad. We'll have to see what it looks like in practice. Then we have the timing. How long does this camera shake take? How much does it blend in? And how much does it blend out? So we can imagine that this camera shake does this amount of transformation to any property of our camera. And that works if our 0 line of it not shaking at all exists here, because then it can just start from where it is at and do the thing. But what if our 0 line exists here and it starts at a shake value of 0.5 or 0.7, something along those lines? Then we're going to have a bit of a jump cut into it snapping to this value. So this blending just blends over a certain period of time from our 0 value into the start of our shake. Then at 0.2 seconds or whatever we put in here, it's going to entirely just do the value of those shakes. And then at the end, it's going to interpolate all the way back to whatever our non-shaking, like our 0 value is, essentially. And that takes however long this value is given in. 1 second might be a little long, so let's go with 0.5 seconds and then have our blend in and out only be 0.1 second. Taking a real quick break here to say, if you're enjoying this or finding this helpful, a way that is entirely free for you to support me, if you don't want to sign up for the Patreon, is to go down below in the description to my Steam page for my own game and add it to your wishlist. Only takes a couple of seconds to do, but it actually does massively help me out and support me making my game and the content that comes along with it. This is our first try at making this basic damage thing. Then going back into the character here, we can now choose our camera shake, basic damage, and let's just see what that looks like. We can find our enemy here and get hit by them, and now our camera shakes a little bit when we get hit. There's much more of an obvious tell that we're getting hit because the camera shake is harder to ignore than just our HP going a little bit down. And if we want to use the same values, but just make everything a little bit larger and a little bit faster, we can just set the scale here to 2, and that will just make everything in here just multiply by 2. And that will look a little something like this. It's probably going to be a bit much in this case. Again, this is the kind of thing where we really try to excel at the art of pulling numbers out of thin air and just kind of seeing if they work. This might still be a little intense, to be honest with you. And I think this is a pretty decent I got damaged kind of camera shake. Fantastic. That's one camera shake. But now, what if we want a different camera shake for when the enemy gets killed? Because you want that to be something visually different to differentiate easily for the player between hitting something or getting hit. Those shouldn't exactly be the same effect, right? So for that, let's just go back to our basic damage here. Press this browse to asset so that we open up the folder that exists in. And I'm just going to Control and D to duplicate it. Camera shake underscore kill enemy. And for this one, I'm just going to reset everything real quick because I'm not going to use any of the normal location stuff. I don't want to change the X or the Y. I only want this to shake a little bit up and down. So the amplitude for X and Y is at 0. The amplitude for Z, let's set this to 10. And then maybe a frequency of 2. And what I most want to do is I want to change the field of view. This is something that you want to be careful about, because it is a recipe to introducing motion sickness, and you want to avoid that if at all possible. But doing this a little bit and subtly can be a pretty nice effect. So let's say 10 degrees with a very, very low frequency. And instead of doing this as a pure noise, I'm going to do this as a wave oscillator. So it just goes up and down smoothly without any randomness to it. And personally, I've forgotten where exactly I put the base enemy, because it's been a while since I've personally opened up this project. So I've opened up BP enemy 1, and then we can see the parent class of it is BP base enemy. If we just click on this open parent in editor button, it will just open up our base enemy blueprint. And where actually was it? It was just in AI. That makes sense. And we can get right into editing the blueprint for this. So when the enemy dies, we have this on overlap. If it is a character and it is moving down, we do on enemy kill response. Probably not a bad idea to put it in here so that we can individually decide if other child blueprints that we made off of this will or will not inherit this same behavior. So we're going to just do that right here. We can, again, just get the player controller. This is just as easy as that. And we can start camera shake on client again. And for this one, we're going to just start the camera shake for kill enemy. And as easily as that, we've now got a different camera shake when we kill the enemy. Let's take a look at if that works. It's a very subtle one. After changing to the wave oscillator pattern, it seems like a lot of my settings here got changed. That's on me. That will happen, right? Because when we go back to pure noise, you can see that it has some different properties that it kind of spawns in when we change over to wave oscillator. Mainly that being the initial offset type. Where do we start off? Do we start at any random point in our up and down curve, or do we just start at 0? And in this case, we're just going to be, well, starting at 0. So we set this amplitude to, again, let's say 15 maybe. And we start this at 0. And then for our field of view, I think I set this to 10. And we also start this at 0. And give it another shot. Let's see what this shake looks like now when we jump onto the enemy. We can see it does a little wiggle in our field of view. There's a little bit in the position. The position probably could stand to being a little bit more extreme. So let's go up to, I don't know. So let's do one last one where we duplicate this again with Control D, and we'll call this kill enemy animated. And for this one, you can maybe imagine what we're going to do. We're going to use a sequence camera animation instead. And this takes a play rate, a scale, a blend in time, a blend out time, and whether or not it takes a random segment, and if so, how long that random segment will be. But we're just going to use the entire sequence, and we'll make a animation sequence to fill in here. I'm going to put this in camera shakes, and let's call this CSA, camera shake animated, enemy killed. Something simple and straightforward like that. If we open it up, we will be able to see it spawns in a cinema camera actor for us, which should be at location 000. And it will just do whatever we animate here relative to wherever our camera is in the world. It's not going to snap to 000 or anything. So let's animate the transform for it. And I'm going to add a keyframe here at the very start. Then this is a 30 FPS timeline. So let's say at about 20 frames, I want to move up the camera a little bit and maybe even tilt it up slightly. Set a different keyframe again. Then we hold that for a handful of frames, let's say until frame 30, and then go into frame 45, making this about a 1.5 seconds long animation. I'm going to paste that back in. It's a little annoying to animate this because 000 in this level obviously is inside of a block of a static mesh, which makes it annoying to see what is actually happening with any of this. But let's just see if we close out of this, we save everything, what that's going to look like. we'll go into our BP base enemy and use our, oh, I just called it CS, not CSA. Well, anyway, the enemy killed animated, and see what that looks like. It's a little much, maybe, but you can see it does do the exact thing that we animated it to do, which now is easily changeable. If I open this back up again and I go back into here, transform, and I say, well, I want this to also maybe kind of does a orbit around. This is probably going to look pretty ugly, but I'm just trying to show this and make a point of you can make this do whatever you want. As you can see, yeah, that didn't work very well at all, because what it is doing, it's not actually orbiting around the player. It is orbiting around where the camera's original position is. So what it is doing is it's orbiting around here instead of orbiting around here, which is probably what you would want. But that's the basics of camera shakes. You can go really wild with this, and just adding some camera shakes in response to actions, even if it's just a little bit, really makes it feel much more impactful whatever is happening in your game. Be it getting damaged, dealing damage, or even if you're making a survival game, if you're swinging your axe at a tree, on impact, add a little bit of a camera shake, and will sell the impact of that swing just so much more immediately. And a very big thank you to all my Patreons. You can see them on screen right now. If you want to help support the channel or get any of the project files in any of my tutorials, there's a link down below to the Patreon page to support me, or alternatively as a YouTube member. With a special thanks to my Cave student tier supporters Oiku and Earl Montseville Erno, and my Cave Digger tier supporters Mauricio Ferias, Cheng the Dude, and Joshua Mater.